You guys, what is good? Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel. Here today to preview Salernitana versus Inter. Obviously, we're going to bounce back after that loss against Sassuolo the other day. And hopefully that is just an accident along the way of this potentially second star journey of this season for Inter. But ahead of tomorrow's game, 7:45 p.m. UK time kickoff away in Salerno. The injuries are starting to pile up. And could it be KLASSEN time? Obviously, the guy that we signed on deadline, they're really random signing that I didn't even really cover much. There was not much excitement around. I'm not really expecting to see much of him, but because of these injury issues that we're having at the moment, we might have to. And we'll get into the predicted lineups in a moment. But first of all, let's cover who is injured for Inter at the moment. So obviously, we know that Stefano Sensi is injured. We've got the Gazzetta here helping us out in the Indisponibili section. Sensi, I mean, this could have been a perfect game for Sensi. The really, really perfect game for him to come in, make a difference, say to Inzaghi, look, you can rely on me. I'm fit. And of course, we know how good he is when he is fit. But once again, every time I look at Sensi and then predict the lineups, it just says, 5 to 7 days, and it keeps saying the same thing. So looks like it's another season of no Sensi. Quadrado, da valutare means they need to value him or they need to kind of assess him. I think he still probably won't play this one. Again, his transfer at the moment, as much as, it makes sense on a technical level, physically, I don't know. Maybe we bought a dud here. Arnautovic, we know it says 60 days there, 2 months. It might be more than that. Frattesi, today is fresh news that came out that he has that he had a small fatigue, but also it might be like a small injury as well, very small injury. So he's now missing this game, but he also might be missing the next game against Benfica in the midweek. So that's not good news at all because he was definitely now, potential to be starting. And now he definitely won't be. So let's get into it. The predicted lineups. Let's stick with Gazzetta for now for Inter. You can see there big changes up front. Sanchez and Thuram starting, and we talked about it in the Sassuolo match reaction. There's just going to have to be some changes for Inter at the moment in terms of rotation, freshness. Lautaro has played a lot of games for Inter and Argentina. He has covered the most minutes, Lautaro, this season up until now. He's the outfield player with the most minutes after Jan Sommer's not an outfield player, so yeah, he is. Lautaro's the player with the most minutes. Ideally, you don't want to rest Lautaro in an away game against a tricky team like Salernitana, but you have to think about Champions League, guys. This Champions League qualification, obviously, every year is super important because that extra, 10, 20 million at least guaranteed that it brings you. But this year is even more important because it allows Inter to qualify for the new Club World Cup that's going to start from next season. Is going to guarantee Inter qualifying for that, and it's not been confirmed how much money clubs will make from that, but it's going to be another guaranteed, at least 10, 20 million on top, something along those lines, potentially more. Let's see how those financials look, but for that reason, if Inter qualify from this group stage, financially, it's another big boost. So it's really, really important for Inter, and just not on the pitch, but off the pitch as well. So it makes sense that you want to have Lautaro fresh and ready for this busy period, but also, Benfica game in midweek. So it's risky. It's a risky lineup up front, but it's a duo that we've never seen until now. Alexis and Thuram together. Again, it kind of reminds me of Correa and Sanchez when they used to play together. They kind of two false nines almost. But Thuram's given me some real hope that he's could become a proper good hold up, box number 9. He just needs to sort out his finishing. But yeah, his hold up play and everything's been good. So he needs to make sure that at least he gets into the box and occupies the box, because otherwise, if both of them are going to be outside of the box, we're going to have trouble scoring. The midfield, this is where, with Frattesi's injury, I think Mkhitaryan is another one that probably needs rest now. even though Inzaghi loves him. He's loved him until now. Mkhitaryan is another one that has covered the most minutes alongside Lautaro. He now, because of Frattesi's injury, looks like he can't rest either, according to Gazzetta. But this is the Gazzetta. In the Sky Sport Italia lineup, they have Davy Klaassen, who they still have in the Ajax kit, starting instead of Mkhitaryan, which to me, again, that makes sense. You know, you got that midweek fixture. If Frattesi is out for this game and Benfica, which is likely to be, you don't want to risk him, even if he's back for the Benfica game. I wouldn't want to risk him. It makes sense to start someone like Klaassen with the Sensi's injury as well. He still hasn't really integrated into the team. We saw him last game for like 4 minutes, 5 minutes. He's not a guy that I'm dying to see, but it just makes sense that if you're going to start him in the game, Salernitana away, yes, tricky, maybe not ideal, but just why not? Why not start Klaassen in this game right here? Apologies if my video is slightly laggy today. The internet again is flagging up. I need to once again call my internet service provider to try and sort this out and maybe upgrade one more time, which I already did. Barella continues. It would have been nice to see again Barella Frattesi together. Barella on the left, Frattesi on the right, but it looks like we won't get to see that. But apart from that, it seems to be the exact same lineup, both on Gazzetta and Sky Sport Italia. And I agree with it, to be honest. I agree with it. Dumfries continuing, obviously, in Cuadrado's absence. And then Carlos Augusto coming in for Di Marco. Di Marco did already look kind of, I know he scored an amazing goal against Empoli, but he already kind of looked tired against Empoli. So, and against Sassuolo as well. You know, it just makes sense. You know, athletically, he is already not one of the greatest players in this team, Marcos. So it makes sense to me to start Augusto. At the back, yes, Pavard 100% has to start. Now he rested. This guy doesn't even need rest. He's been, you know, he's 28 years old. He's coming from, you know, he's got his big move to Inter now. Like, just let the boy play. De Vrij coming back in and Acerbi starting instead of Bastoni. I think, yeah, Bastoni is another one that maybe needs a bit of a rest. So actually, all in all, I'm kind of happy with this squad. Something needs to be done, yeah, because he can't. Obviously, we saw against the Sassuolo, the starters did need a bit of rotation. But I'm sure if we don't win this game, people are going to say Inzaghi rotated too much this time, so he can never win. But personally, I'm fine with this lineup. It's just a shame that I feel like it was just going to be a great game for Sensi or even Aslani. I wouldn't have minded moving Hakan back into the mezzala, as much as I don't really like him, but we know he can play that role. Play Hakan and Barella in the mezzala roles as they always used to at the beginning, up until last season, and then I have Aslani slotting in. But it seems like still Inzaghi, especially after what happened in Sociedad, still doesn't trust him. But it is what it is. Moving on to Salernitana, of course, we know the one guy that we need to watch out for is Tony, the Candyman, Tony Candreva. But luckily for us, he is actually injured. He's out injured. Here he is. Koulibaly, Lassana Koulibaly, another big player for them, out injured. Candreva out injured. That's great news for us. Apart from that, you know, the guys to watch out for. Boulaye Dia, the guy that I think a lot of the fan base wouldn't mind seeing as the third, fourth choice striker at Inter. Great striker. I'm surprised he's still at Salernitana. Actually, he tried his best to leave Salernitana in the summer, but they just didn't let him. Cabral, surprise package for them at the beginning of this season. Like, they've signed him, I think, on loan, and he scored a nice goal just the other match day, and he almost scored another one last match day in the post. Definitely one to watch out for. Montoki, their right wing back, we were linked with him last season until his injury. Great energy, but apart from that, you know, as I said in my Serie A preview, I just don't really understand what Salernitana were trying to do this summer. Yeah, not a particularly impressive squad, and Paulo Sousa's not really getting much out of these guys. Yeah, they look like they have pretty much the same lineup as the predicted lineup here. Ochoa, of course, as you know, we know the Consiglies of this world, Dragowski of this world. You just know Guillermo Ochoa. He's gonna get into his World Cup form. World Cup Guillermo Ochoa, one of the greatest goalkeepers in ever existed, but just in the World Cup. But actually, last season he was really, really impressive for Salernitana. Just not that much this season, and I know because I've had him in my fantasy Serie A team. But yeah, well, I mean, last season we struggled, didn't we? When we went there, remember that game in April? We drew 1-1 with that crazy, obviously, Candreva deflected goal from lazy Di Marco defending and Onana getting surprised. Remember that weird cross that became a shot with those weird trajectories Candreva's crosses sometimes take. Crazy, crazy match where we wasted so many chances. So hope is not a repeat of that. But apart from that, we kill these guys home and away, 5-0. The season before at their home, 5-0 at home, 2-0 at home. And Lautaro's also known as Salernitana man, isn't it? That's the little joke if you're on Twitter, Salernitana man, because he scores against all the minnows, especially against Salernitana. I think he had a hat trick last season, didn't he, against Salernitana? So, or was it the season before? So he's not starting, but I can see him getting a goal off the bench if we need one. And Alexis, if Alexis start, I can see Alexis scoring, and that would be amazing. I think he needs that confidence boost, and we need to see something from Sanchez, man. This guy begged to come back after we paid to leave him. We need to see a bit more from him. His last his cameo against Sassuolo wasn't good, so he needs to grab his chance tomorrow. And yeah, Klaus, I'm interested to see how he integrates. I'm not excited to watch him, but let's see. Maybe he can turn out to be a useful signing. You never know. These underrated signings at Inter over the years have done better than our big name signings if you think about it. The Acerbis and Darmians of this world. And yeah, I think we'll win, but I think we'll struggle. I think we'll waste chances, and I think this Alexis Thuram partnership is not going to be very clinical. But I think we'll sneak a win. I'm going for a 2-1 victory. Returning to 3 points, maintaining top of the table, and going on to the Benfica game in the perfect way possible. Or is that too easy? That's not Inter, is it? To do things like that. So let's see. Will they give us pain or suffering or joy tomorrow? We'll see. You guys make sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Ciao ragazzi. Forza Inter.